WorkNet, and we are in the process of a redesign, and we wanted to take this time to be able to show you what we are working on, and thank you for the input that you've given us in the past so that we're able to move forward and know that we're including things that you have said that you wanted to see. I'm going to go ahead and close the polling questions. Make the screen larger so that you can see that. One moment, please. If at any time you do have questions during this webinar, go ahead and use the chat pod to ask, and we'll answer those as we can as it goes along. And if there's something we need to get back to you on, we will certainly do that promptly. You should have received a copy of this PowerPoint presentation via an email, but in case you would like another copy or didn't receive that, you can go ahead and click on the File Share pod in the bottom left-hand corner and save the document to your it's a PowerPoint that's listed on this particular share pod, or file share pod, and I'll be providing you with the PDF in a little while in case you'd like something that's just a little bit smaller. Today what I'd like to talk to you about is what Illinois WorkNet Individuals Pathway in particular looks like now, the changes that we're making, so what it will look like, and the forces that are in place for shaping Illinois WorkNet and this redesign. Some of the things that are being changed on the individual pathway at this time, including a restructured navigation, an updated look and feel, simplified content in terms of the literacy level. The content will remain much the same, just at a little bit lower reading level. Some increased guidance, providing individuals with a step-by-step procedure, replacing the long lists of links that you've seen in the past. Of access to the and usability of tools, we're going to be grouping those by type and by channel so that people can find exactly what they're looking for when they're looking for it. And we're also going to be utilizing lots of interactive features. This is something that you've said that you really wanted to have included to engage and motivate your customers, and we've heard the same thing from them. So we're including those and like what you see. We've also included a user survey. Now, right now it's a sneak peek and uses screen captures to ask people what they think of some of the functionality and some of the redesign elements. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that, but we ask that you have your customers complete the survey, perhaps during a job club or other meeting in the resource room, and make sure that your coworkers and partners get the information as well and have their customers. At the very end, we'll have some time for question and answer if you have some questions for us. As I mentioned, the redesign is underway in the individual's pathway at this time. We're going to be completed with it by June 2011, and you've likely seen already many different changes that have taken place. For example, there used to be a couple of different ways that you could link and get to the channels, including links in the top bar, links on the side, links in the middle, and we're contracting that so that individuals will have one place in the left menu to be able to go and find the information that they need, cutting down on some of the confusion as to what they needed to do to access the info. As a workforce professional, you have asked, and we have happily provided ways that you can know what kinds of changes are being made. If you log into your Workforce Professionals account, you'll be able to, from the home page, click on the website redesign links that you find either in the left menu or a link on the quick links on the right. And on that page, what it's going to provide you with is a list of the updates being made by date per pathway and giving you a little bit more detail so that you're not surprised by what you see when you go to the individual's pathway. You can also click on the FAQ link that's on the top of every page. This information, by the way, is also repeated on the individual's page, slightly reworded. but it provides you with information about the changes that are being made. Like, for example, when we took the jobs channel and split it into prepare for a job and find a job. We really wanted to make sure that you knew about this, so as you went into your job clubs, you could direct people to the right place. And individuals, similarly, were interested in knowing where they could find the resources they current individual's pathway is utilizing icons and links to go on the page. We're going to be using those icons, but in a slightly different way to help direct people to the resources that they need. But any of the individuals that are using the pathway are able to explore job opportunities. They're able to learn a little bit more about their skills and interests. They can find worksheets and videos to be able to help learn more and know what to do next. There's some guidance approach that's used, and we're going to be expanding upon that because you said that that is something that you felt really people would benefit from, that they could, on their own, be able to go and get some guidance and know the steps to take to prepare for a job. Give you a little bit of background, and thank you. I did see that there's a number of people who are attending here today who have been with Illinois WorkNet for a while, so this might be familiar. But for those people who are relatively new to Illinois WorkNet, I want to give you a little bit of a background. Originally, Illinois WorkNet was designed as a starting point for web-based services and had lots of pages with resources, and there were many links that would provide people with the information that they needed. Some pages and information were generated and original on Illinois WorkNet, but we also directed people to other resources to be able to get their cover letter, for example. The individual's pathway was designed for self-access for WIA services. Now, as we're transitioning into a redesign and utilizing the guidance approach, what we're doing is restructuring the pages and focusing the content so that it really does emphasize a guidance approach. So whether an individual is accessing the pathway on their own or whether they're doing that within a context of a job club, they're going to get the step-by-step what they need to do. There's going to be activities that correspond to this and certificates so that they will have something of note to be able to put in their portfolio to show you that they have completed the steps that you've asked them to complete and their goals. We're going to give you access tools to be able to assign activities, and if you've used the customer groups, you'll see how that is already in progress, and we're expanding upon that so that you can really direct your customers in the best way possible. How did we determine what types of changes need to be made? Well, each year we do usability studies, so we've gone out and surveyed and tested different customers and different groups throughout the state. And that's something that does happen on an annual basis. We just completed a case manager workflow study last year where we went into many LWIAs throughout the state to find out the process and how customers were served, to find out what were some of the best methods and approaches to be able to do that. And we've been including many of the best practices and listen to what you had to say and what you needed to see to be on Illinois WorkNet to help with your customers. Your daily interaction with customers has allowed you to provide us with some feedback. We do receive some feedback as well through our info and help desk. Certainly keep abreast of evolving workforce needs in the state of Illinois. We look at the quarterly evaluations that each LWIA coordinator provides, letting us know what's happening in your area and what could be best done to help you provide services to your customers. We also have steering and advisory committee meetings. So really, so you know, the changes that are being made are changes that you have requested that is going to reflect what's most needed. Now, how many people does Illinois WorkNet serve? Well, take a look at the website statistics as shown here, and you'll note that There are over 170,000 customer accounts with 116,000 people receiving the newsletters that we send out each month. You've likely received the Workforce Professionals newsletter, but there's also an individual's newsletter that goes up and covers different topics that are relative to job seekers. There are there are over 1,000 sites, and over 1,500 people have completed the Certified Illinois WorkNet Advisor course and are trained and ready to be able to assist customers. So lots of people involved in this, a lot of key stakeholders. We are now at the final stages of gathering input, and that's why we're conducting this as well as the changes in the customer group webinars. We're providing links to the online survey and the individual pathway, both on the splash page and on the individual channels. So do take a look for that and direct your customers to that survey. It's very quick. It takes 10 minutes or less, and we ask that you utilize this as part of your job clubs to really help us get as much feedback as possible. Our goal is 1,500 surveys by the end of the month, so please, if you can, help us out with that. The objective of this webinar is to get some feedback so that we can tweak the changes that we're making and make them. Here's first page that I want to show you regarding the redesign. This is the individual's unauthenticated homepage, and there's a couple of new features. Well, first of all, you can see that the banner's changed. Okay, that's a little thing. Many of the resources that you're used to seeing are still there, including the ability to share information, the ability to get to different social media, be able to print, browse aloud. There's the search tool, there's the language translation tool. But now there's some definitely new features, interactive in many cases, that you're going to be interested in. First of all, in the top left-hand part of the page, you'll see an area where we're going to have a rotating feature of hot topics. You've seen this on other pages, Yahoo, for example, where you see pictures and images and text, and it rotates, and it's designed to get your attention and really preview a lot of the resources that are available that you might not have known about and known to look for. There is some restructured navigation, and as part of that, the channels are the same, where we have Prepare, Learn, Find Jobs, Services, and Laid Off Worker Assistance. But with each of these, they're utilizing an icon, and they're color-coded as well. This is going to help people distinguish one from the other, easy to navigate, easy to identify. One is very different from the other. Not only is the icon, but the text will be a different color for the navigation for those pages. Some of the interactive features that you're going to be able to see include quizzes that they might be able to take to engage them, motivate them a little bit, the ability to rate resources that they're finding on each of these pages, and the ability to take a look at success stories. If you've gone into the WIA Works, you'll see an idea of the kind of success stories that are available for people. Lastly, one of the new updates that might be very helpful is that there is a login right on the main page. They're not going to be redirected to a second page where they have to enter in their login and password. They can just do that right there. Here's a zoom in so you can see the icons a little bit better. Each, again, are color-coded and will help people to know what to expect when they click on that particular pathway. So identify, let me zoom in, and easy to read. So when you click on the Find a Job icon, what you're going to be taken to is a main channel page, as you're used to, and it looks a little bit different. Again, we have the rotating features at the top. Could include some promos, Underneath, you'll see there's the left menu, and this is how people are going to navigate from one channel to the next. As you're used to, when you click on a channel, it's going to expand, and you'll be able to see the sub-channels and the resources that are available underneath it. On the main page, and in fact on many of the sub-channel pages as well, what individuals are going to be provided with are guidance steps. So they'll be able to see step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on, what they need to do. There aren't, as you see here, a lot of links that will take them off to another page, but simply gives them directions what they need to do to be able to proceed. If there are tools that they need to be able to do that, in the top right corner, is going to click on an area where they're going to be able to see some of the top tools that are available, and then I'll learn more to see all the tools. I'll be showing you here in a moment how the resources and these tools are grouped in a way that are appropriate for each channel. Again, on the right-hand side, we have success stories. We have an area for promos and a smart poll, another interactive feature that will help us to help customers even better. All right, on the Find a Job page, this is a sub-channel, so getting a little bit more detailed. You notice that the Find a Job channel is open, and then highlighted is one of the areas below. On the Network to Find Jobs page, again you see a step-by-step procedure so that people are able to follow directly on their own, if need be, and they know what to do. There are a couple of worksheets here, like the networking worksheet that's appropriate for a networking page. And underneath, this is kind of a neat added feature, since they're probably going to be looking for local resources, places where they can actually network, they're going to be able to find events in their area, similar to the news and events that they can already use. They can find that in their area easily right on this page. Again, we have the tools, resources on the right, success stories, promos, and the smart poll. All right, here's your first look at what the ReDesign tool page would be. One of the things I want you to know here is that at the top, see where it says Prepare Tools? That relates directly to the Prepare channel, because each channel is going to have its own grouped tools page. On the tools page, the design is going to include tabs where they can click one or the next to see the list of the tools that are available of that type. On the screen capture, we see that the Worksheets tab has been selected, and on the right side here, you see all of the worksheets that are available. They've selected one, which is the Help Wanted, Who Do You Want to Be? And kind of a neat feature is that not only can they click on it, but before they actually go to access that tool, they can see a thumbnail or a screen capture of what that tool is. So they can very quickly visually see, oh, okay, that's what I want. So they can go and click and access that information. To make sure that people don't get lost and wonder where the other resources are, there's also a link, color-coded by the way, below so that they can click and find a job tools if that's something that's appropriate and is needed. Things that I've showed you thus far are available certainly to everyone, but as you know, that customers with an account have some specialized tools that they can utilize. The resume is one of them. They can use the resume builder with an account. But they can also take skills and interest surveys. They can save messages, or they can receive messages. They can save notes for themselves, add shortcuts to pages that they like to get to. They have activities that they may have completed that you've asked them to complete. And so there's lots of things that they can access. By clicking on Home, they're going to see all of the tools that they're used to being able to access. The one change is that while currently we have a job planner and a career planner, those are going to be combined into just one planner so that they don't have to determine. When logging in, and this is again on the Homes page, the grouped tools look similar in display, but in this case, they have a little bit different options, and these are all the personalized tools that they have available to them. In case they have My Resumes, different links for the resumes they've created, and on the right-hand side, a quick visual representation so they can see if this is really what they're looking for or not. The skills and interests are still available, and I mentioned earlier that there have been some changes that you have seen, and changes to the skills and interests page is one of them. We've laid it out in a way that's easy to identify, doesn't require a lot of scrolling, but still individuals are able to click and take the self-assessment. They can see the results after they've taken it, and they can decide to retake it if they'd like to. What's rather nice is that if this customer is been put into a customer group and you have access to that customer group, you'll be able to go in and see what the results are to their assessment, so they can speak with them about that and best advise them on next steps. There's links, again, to all the pages in the left-hand menu. Again, icons used, color-coded. Still, you'll see the tools channel on the right-hand side, success stories, smart polls, and all the other skills that you said that you really wanted to make sure that people were going to have. Next steps. What we would very much like you to do is to go ahead and take the ReDesign survey yourself. See how easy it is, but it gives you a sneak peek as to the kind of redesign and making sure that people really understand what it is that we're getting across to them. It's going to be available for 1 month. The link to the survey, again, is on the splash page for Illinois WorkNet, as well as on the main channel pages. Pathway. Pass the survey on to your staff, partners, and ask them to complete that. And from there on, please have your customers take the surveys. The links are available in many places. It only takes a few minutes to complete, and it measures the customer's preferences and the Illinois WorkNet use. Results will be reviewed by us and used to help us inform as to additional redesigns or tweaks that we need to make. Pathway works really well. Local content will be available on individual home pages. We're working on how exactly, John, that will be displayed. One of the ways that may very well be displayed is in the rotating graphic icons. And one of our programmers has just finished up working on that tool, so we'll be implementing that very soon, so you'll see how that can be used. Do you have any questions? And if so, go ahead and type those into the chat pod. Question was, will we have registered participant activities progress to be connected to IWDS? And yes, and actually we have a webinar on that talking specifically about customer groups, and you can attend that if you'd like to. It's at 1 o'clock today. And to what degree we can provide access to to activities based on what service level, what services are registered for within IWDS. So that's in addition to the existing guidance approach. This is Natasha, by the way, that Pam has been talking about with this overall new design. You know, the whole thing is, directing customers to the information they need because they may or may not know the right questions to ask. Well, the same thing goes with use of the My Activities based on the services, if they're within IWDS, and the services that they're registered for, we can, have those activities sent to them in their Illinois WorkNet account, again, to provide guidance. So, good question. Okay. One of the questions, will the home take the people back to the welcome page? Right now it's designed, Elaine, to take people back to their home page. So their individual home page. Right. So it's going to be the individual home page, not the splash page. Is that what you were talking about, Elaine? as opposed to what we call the splash page, where you can go into the individual key sectors or business? If they're not logged in, I would just go to the individual homepage. You know, where you would see like the prepare, learn, find a job, as opposed to, you know, key sectors, business. D, with regards to the user survey, that is up now. So go ahead and take a look at providing us feedback on the bottom of the pages, and you'll see that there. I think that's the customer user survey you're talking about, the footer of each page. I have a couple of polling questions for you. If you could please go ahead and answer these questions. Know what you think. In the notes section, I have the link to the ReDesign survey, but again, that is something that you can access really easily from the Illinois WorkNet splash page or any of the individual channels. I have a question too, as we're moving forward with promoting the survey to people, would it be helpful to you to have a poster to put up in your resource room to ask people to go ahead and take the survey so that they can get? I'll be sure to do that then. It'll likely be 8.5 by 11 size, if that's sufficient. If you'd like, I'll create it as a PDF, so if you'd like to make it larger, you can do that. Information about the survey likely show up in the newsletter for February, since you'll have 2 weeks in February that that is going to be available. Get the information out there, and if you have other ideas as to how we can get people to take the survey. 11/7. Oh, okay. You said 11/17. That I can put it in a couple of different sizes. Okay. Thank you, Dee. Appreciate that. Better, yes. I'm all about that. I often get very little graphics and try to figure out how I can make it bigger and still make it look good. Well, I thank you very much for your time. I hope you like what you've seen today, and it seems that you have, and have additional thoughts, certainly email us, let us know. I thank you very much for your time, and good day, and here's hoping. All right. Have